Welcome to Viva Brazil 2014. My name is Michael Kenya, and we say a very big thank you for joining us on this afternoon and every other afternoon, Monday to Friday, for Viva Brazil 2014 right here on Citizen TV. What are we doing at Viva Brazil 2014? We'll be giving you the news, the reviews and tidbits on the World Cup, whether it's in Kenya or in Brazil. Bernard Dong will be in Brazil, but in Kenya we have a strong team of Waiga Maura, Michael Kenya, myself and Maureen Mwende to give you everything that will be happening around the World Cup. But first, Waiga Maura, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Michael Kini, and good dribbling there. I should have said that to begin with, but this is the magic wall. Now, anytime you see anyone here, they'll be doing either one of two things. Number one, they'll be analyzing the football, and all you do once you click here is that it takes you to the different categories that we have. Being a magic wall, sometimes it does things that are magical that we can't understand, but here we are. We'll be looking at the groups, Group A to Group H, 8 groups that will be in the World Cup, 4 teams, 32 teams. We'll be looking at the fixtures, we'll be looking at the results, and we'll be looking at the players as well. Much later on, of course, we'll also be here looking at social media, your tweets, your Facebook, and 22422. And talking about social media, we're joined by a very special lady here in studio. Cecilia, tell us what will be happening on our social media.
Thank you, Wahiga. Now, our show is going to be very interactive, and we're really looking forward to hearing what you have to say about the show. Our hashtag for Facebook and Twitter is Viva Brazil, and you can also send us an SMS on 22422. That's 22422. Remember, we're going to pick a lucky viewer at the end of the show to join us in this very studio. Tell us why you want to be part of our panel to discuss the World Cup, and you just could be that lucky one. But now I'm going to hand over to Waiga.
Thank you, Cecilia. Very well done. Now, forgive us for showing off our studio. This is the only place you should be every day, 1:30 to 2:30. That's Monday to Friday from today until the end of the World Cup as we continue with our coverage. We've got some special guests here in studio. We teased them a bit earlier. But on my left, I am joined by two of Kenya's leading footballers. Southampton's Victor Mugubi Wanyama will be helping us analyze. He's wearing the Brazil jersey, but he tells me he's not a fan of Brazil. He'll be telling us who he's supporting. And of course, Inter Milan's McDonald Mariga, we know him now with Inter Milan. He might tell us later on if he's thinking of moving to any other clubs. And of course, on my right, I am joined by the Deputy Head of Mission for the Brazil Embassy here, Mr. Antonio Ricarte. Now, my Brazilian pronunciation might not be very good, but in a couple of minutes, he will be telling us if that's the correct way to pronounce his name and also how to say hi and bye in their language. But of course, Michael Kini, at our magic wall, what do you have for us?
Thank you very much, Wahiga. Like we said, Wahiga, this is the magic wall. This is where everything football in terms of statistics will be happening. As Wahiga said, we've got groups, fixtures, results, and players. And if we go into the groups of this World Cup, what does the table show us? It shows us Group A, B, C, D, all the way up to Group H. You can see where the African teams are placed. Cameroon in Group A. We've got Ivory Coast in Group C. We've got this is Nigeria in Group F, Ghana in Group G, and Algeria in Group H. If we just tap onto Group A, that will kick off the World Cup for us today. It gives us all the teams, that is Brazil, Cameroon, Croatia, and Mexico. If I tap into Brazil, that will be doing that later. It gives me all the players in the Brazilian national team, and we'll be able to populate for you and just see how good we are or how bad we are off in terms of picking out the lineups. We can move all these players from the subs bench to everything else. We'll be able to show you that one later, and I will challenge McDonald Mariga to pick for me the Brazilian team that he thinks will be playing today. So that is as far as the groups are concerned. When you move on to the fixtures that we have on the magic wall, this is what it will be giving us on the fixtures. And on the fixtures, you can see today's Brazil versus Croatia, Arena Corinthians, Sao Paulo. I hope I pronounced that one correctly. That is the game that we have for you today. And I can also show you the next game that will be played right on my magic wall. And once I'm able to do that, I'm going back to my homepage and I come to the results. And on the results, every game that is played will be able to populate it for you here. Like now, tomorrow we'll be able to have Brazil versus Croatia with everything else that will be there. And the next match, that is Spain versus Netherlands, and so on and so forth, until we have all the games that have been played populating there. The last thing that I'll show you on my magic wall is on the players. And on the players here, we'll be able to give you the scorers list. This will be the top scorers list that will lead to the Golden Boot. And the Golden Boot will be the player that has scored the most goals at the World Cup. So we'll be able to follow up on that wall with us right here on Citizen TV on our magic wall that is able to give you everything else. Right now, I go back to my homepage and I hand over to Wahiga Mora, who will be able to give us what is happening in terms of the interview with the Deputy Ambassador. Over to you, Wahiga.
Right, thank you very much, Michael Kinyi. It's a magic wall. We are still learning how to do that magic. But of course, very glad to be able to give you that analysis right here. Now, I'm joined by Mr. Antonio Ricarte, Deputy Head of Mission, Brazilian Embassy right here. The first question I'm going to ask you is, how ready is Brazil for the World Cup? But before I ask you that question, we actually have a feature. Bernard Ndong was in Brazil, and he brings us that report from Brazil on the World Cup.
Is Brazil ready to host the World Cup? The month-long tournament will be hosted in 12 stadia spread out across the South American nation, a privilege to the football-crazy country. That won the bid to host the sport's biggest event in 2007. All the 12 venues have undergone test events. Some of the stadia have had structural issues such as leaking roofs, unfinished stands, with most missing the FIFA deadline to be ready. Sanclair Milesi, who is in charge of communications for the World Cup local organizing committee, admits that a lot still needs to be done.
No stadium in the world is ready to host a World Cup game because it's simple to say. No one would imagine, well, we have 12 brand new stadiums, but we have to adjust fine-tune the necessary complementary structures. I'll give you an example. For all over 18,800 media will be present here to cover. In normal matches in Brazil, you never need that much space for the media covering, so you need a bigger media facility.
Security for the expected 600,000 visitors to Brazil is also a major concern. Protests in some of the host cities against the high spending by the government to host the World Cup have threatened to pour cold water on the country's preparations. In Rio de Janeiro, which will host the final of the World Cup, 20,000 security personnel will be used to guarantee safety.
So as a local, I feel safer in Brazil over the years. I live here since a young age, since I was born. So I see the history of Brazil. You cannot consider Brazil just a snapshot of the country. You have to take all the social issues, the social problems that we faced over the years that are being addressed and corrected.
Despite the concerns, a considerable number of football fans around the world have already bought their tickets. Brazilians are top of the list.
We're breaking records here in the look for tickets in Brazil. Brazil has the highest the number of people looking for tickets in the history of the World Cup.
Ghana, which will be part of 5 African countries competing at the World Cup, has the highest number of ticket requests in the continent, with more than 4,000 tickets sold. A considerable number of Kenyans will be heading to Brazil too.
Unfortunately, Kenya is not with us in 2014, but we have more than 300 tickets sold to Kenya residents. So we'll welcome them as well, as the World Cup is a big party, international celebration.
One of the most sought-after tickets is for the World Cup final, which will be staged at the Maracanã Stadium on the 13th of June.
And the ticket itself, if you read it, you know where you get it. It's a ticket for Maracanã. You know which gate you arrive, which seat you have, and category 3 ticket. So this was purchased by one of our lucky employees here.
The tickets for the games are being bought directly from the FIFA website, with over-the-counter purchases being available at designated FIFA venue ticketing centers. Will be heading to Brazil too.
Thank you very much, Bernard Ndong, for that report. Remember, Bernard Ndong is our reporter in Brazil, and every day expect updates like that. And he'll be giving us insight. He'll be based in Rio with a lot of information from the World Cup on the ground. Now, in case you're wondering what I'm wearing, this is actually a Brazil jersey, but it's the away kit. That's the blue with a little bit of yellow over here, but you'll also be able to see the yellow jersey and so much more even as the show continues. But now, Your Excellency, you've seen that coverage from Brazil. And the question that everyone is asking, is Brazil ready for the World Cup?
Well, the big day has come. So it's like a wedding day. Everyone is excited. No? It's been years of preparation. Of course, there has been some delay in some of the works that we had to undertake in order to build new football arenas and also the infrastructure that goes along with it, so that everyone has the possibility to be at the arenas in time for the games. But now that the day has come, we can say that we are ready.
Let's talk about security. how much security has been added to what was the usual in Brazil? What has been done?
Well, it is a big effort for Brazil to host such a big event. Of course, we have mobilized not only our police forces, but also the military. Today in São Paulo at the inauguration, there seems to be more than 150,000 policemen and military personnel in order to ensure that the opening ceremony and the inaugural match between Brazil and Croatia will run smoothly.
Do you feel that the world or the press has been unfair to Brazil? Because every day it's been reports about strikes. It's not strikes, it's riots. I mean...
Well, actually, I don't think it is unfair at all, because the role of the press is to communicate and to show the reality in the field. You know? And being Brazil a democratic country, every citizen of Brazil, every person in Brazil has the right to demonstrate, as long as it is a peaceful demonstration. And of course, there are a majority of Brazilians who are very much in favor of hosting the World Cup, but there are also dissonant opinions, and we are ready to hear to them.
Okay, and let's talk about Kenyans. How many Kenyans are going for the World Cup? I know you've been receiving lots of applications at the embassy.
Well, we have facilitated the process of issuance of visas. As you heard in the report from Rio, there are about 300 tickets that were sold to Kenyan citizens to attend the games in Brazil. I hope that it will be possible for them to have the best time of their lives there during the World Championship.
Right, it's usually a tradition for host nations to invite the president of all the countries. Has His Excellency, I believe His Excellency the President has been invited?
We did so, yes. We are expecting an answer. We hope that he will be able to make it.
Oh, yes, you hope that he'll be able to make it. And looking at predictions now, if you predict against Brazil, I'll be worried. But what are your predictions?
Well, we have some tough challengers, you know, because being the host country, Brazil was pre-qualified. But also all the heads of groups that you have mentioned before on your screen are very strong teams, and we will be able to see wonderful football being played during this championship. I would not dare to predict who is going to be in the finals. I hope Brazil will, and I will be looking forward to hear the opinion of your colleagues over there.
He's talking about McDonald Mariga and Victor Mugubi, who both play football out in Europe, and you're hoping that they'll add to your analysis of today's football.
Let's say they have an insider's opinion.
That's correct. Now, the last time your country hosted the World Cup, Brazil made it to the finals against Uruguay, but lost, breaking the hearts of millions of Brazilians. I'm sure you have a bit of the history. Can we expect, is this the time for vengeance, for revenge?
Well, Uruguay has qualified, so they will probably be an outstanding team during this championship. I hope that they will make into the qualifiers. Maybe there is a chance, a mathematical chance, that Brazil would face Uruguay again in the final in Maracanã, which would be like a déjà vu.
History repeating itself.
Indeed, yes. And the last time it was not very favorable to us. It took us a long time to overcome the depression that came afterwards, but perhaps this time we can celebrate together.
Right. Now, opening ceremony precedes the World Cup, and for a lot of people who are not necessarily fans of football, they want to watch the opening ceremony. Any idea of what we can expect tonight?
It will be a brief show. It will last about half an hour. It will start at 9:15 Kenyan time, so those of you who are at home at that hour can tune in for the opening ceremony in Brazil. It will be in the biggest Brazilian city of São Paulo. It is organized by FIFA itself. It's not something that the Brazilian authorities has, let's say, put a lot of effort into, because it was FIFA who did it. There will be some acrobatics with Brazilian themes around it. J-Lo
and Pitbull will be performing,
and Claudia Leite, the three singers are going to perform the national, the World Cup song.
Anthem. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say that national anthem. The national anthem is going to be played as well.
Last question very quickly, because I know our analysts are on standby, and Michael King is also at the magic wall. Teach me a bit of Portuguese.
Oh yes, bem-vindos ao Brasil.
What? Bem-vindos
ao Brasil.
Ao Brasil.
Yeah, because we speak Portuguese. So.
Okay, my director is saying let's talk slowly. He's not able to hear you very clearly. So how do I say hello?
Oi.
Oi.
Yeah.
Oi.
Very similar to South Africans.
And goodbye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Just like the Italians.
Ciao. Obrigado. Obrigado.
Obrigado.
Obrigado.
Yeah,
I've just
well.
told him thank you for that interview. And of course, will you be going to watch?
I will be there for the final.
You'll be there for
and
the
I
final.
will watch it from here.
Can I go in your luggage?
Oh,
to watch with you?
Carry with me.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Most welcome.
Asante sana, obrigado.
Obrigado.
As well. Of course,
Até logo.
we're setting the pace here on Viva Brazil, hashtag Viva Brazil. We've just gotten a feel of what you can expect right there. But here, it's time for predictions, it's time for analysis, and also your social media feedback. Now, on our magic wall, Michael Kinyi and CD or Cecilia, which name you prefer to use, are on standby to tell us what's happening on Twitter, Facebook, and the rest. Michael Kinyi, take it away.
Thank you, Wahiga. Actually, she's Cecilia Sidi Wagarama. That's correct.
Yes.
She says she's Sidi Wagarama. She comes from, those people. Those
Those
ones that you
people,
don't like very much.
The special
Wahiga.
ones.
The special ones. Yes. Sidi, what do we have on social media?
We have a lot of feedback coming in. Thank you guys for that. Awesome edition. That's my favorite 1 month show. Awesome Wanyama is in studio from Isaac Kier. Another one says, I love the magic screen. Technology itawaua. Well, I hope not. Mike, I see you're wearing a Brazil shirt, but are you supporting Brazil?
By default, on the first match, I'll be with Brazil.
Remember, guys.
Yes, it's a pity. Yes, I'd love to see Croatia win, but for the good of the tournament, it's always nice when the host country wins the first match. So that's why I prefer that Brazil actually wins this first game.
Yes. Remember, guys, the more you send us the messages, the greater this chance you stand of joining us in the studio tomorrow. Let me see if we have a couple more things I can tell you. Why are you not in the World Cup? I don't know who that is directed to.
Yes.
Another one, unfortunately.
But the question is, that question we can answer very well. Why are we not in the World Cup? We are in the World Cup. This is the World Cup studio in Nairobi. Bernard Ndong is at the World Cup in Brazil. So he'll be able to give us a lot of stories from Brazil. You already saw what he did about the preparation for Brazil in terms of how ready they are for the World Cup. So we are at the World Cup.
We are at the World Cup.
Yes.
Do you think Brazil is ready for the World Cup?
I think they are.
I hope they put on a good show.
Yes.
A lot of us are very excited for it. Let's see what else we have on this magic wall.
This is a lot of pictures that have been sent there. Actually, this is Brian Baraka. You can see whoever is asking if we're in Brazil, that is our cameraman, Brian Baraka. And he is in Brazil there. That's outside his hotel in Rio de Janeiro. That's where Brian Baraka is with Bernard Ndong. And they'll be able to give you the updates from there. Just in case some of them. This is Salim Bilo. This is one of our colleagues actually reporting the newsroom. And she says, can't miss it. I'm glued to the TV. I'm definitely sure that she is watching there.
Yes. I will now move on to our expert analysis.
Yes, Sidi, thank you very much. I will move on to my experts in the studio today. These are one of the greatest footballers that we have in the country right now. Wanyama, Karibu, Victor.
Thank you.
That is Mariga, Big Mark himself. Karibuni. First question. Mugubi. Me, I call him Mugubi all the time. Actually, the reason why I call him Mugubi is because I've known him as Victor Mugubi. And the name in high school was Mugabe. Am I correct?
Yeah.
They used to call him Mugabe because so many people would not say Mugubi, and the acronym now became Mugabe. But it is Mugubi, and we had a debate at some point when he was joining the Harambee Stars in 2007 that he is actually Mugabe but not Mugubi. But we came to know that he is Mugubi. Mugubi, swali yangu ya kwanza mimi nitakuuliza. Umesema hii umevaa tu ni prop leo.
Yeah.
Nani anashinda?
I think Brazil ni favorite, but I'll go with Croatia. Croatia watashinda.
I know kwa nini unasema Croatia watashinda. I'm coming to that one. Big Mac, predictions zako ziko wapi hapa?
I think leo ni draw.
Leo ni draw.
Yeah.
Mbona unasema ni draw?
Kwa sababu pia Croatia wako poa. Yeah.
Mugubi, Dejan, teammate wako anacheza leo. Sijui kama umeongea kabla ende World Cup.
Tuliongea kabla tumalize season. Akasema watachapa Brazil, so namwamini leo nataka kuona wakifunga Brazil.
If I'm correct, muli join Southampton the same time, eh?
Yeah.
The experience yako imekuaje kucheza naye as a defender?
Imekuwa poa, najua ni mchezaji mpoa. Akona technique and ajua ball sana, so I think atakuwa mchezaji mkubwa kwa Croatia na ata have tournament poa sana.
Big Mac, umecheza na some of these players kwa especially Champions League with Inter Milan. Sijui ni nini haswa inafaa tufanye sisi kama wa Kenya? Najua tuko sad sana, Kenyans wengi unasema stars wetu wako kwa studio na stars wale wengine wako Brazil wanawakilisha countries zao. some of the things that tunafaa tuweke in place ndio tuone Kenya na qualify for World Cup. Ni vitu gani nini? Tumecheza hiyo level ya juu.
I think Kenya hatuna facilities, alafu pia tuna hizi ma schools za ball za kutrainwa vijana wakiwa wadogo. So wakikuwa kubwa, mtu akifika 15 ashajua vile ball inafaa ichezwe. So hatuna hizo schools hapa, then time ya shule na time ya kwenda kutrain ball hakuna sana. So kama Europe shule zinaisha 2, 3, so mtu yeye anaenda 6 kulearn football na kila kitu. So I think tuko nyuma kidogo football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mugubi, swali ambalo nimeulizwa nikiangalia Twitter, kuna mtu sikumbuki ni nani, but ameniambia hebu uliza Mugubi. Teammates wake wengi sana wanaenda Brazil. Leo kuna Croatia, kuna England watakuwa wanacheza, kuna Mfaransa pia atakuwa anacheza. In case teammates wako wakutane kwa semi-final ama finali, for example England wanacheza na Croatia, where would you put your money?
I will go with the majority than England, because England they have 3 players, so I will support the majority, like wale wako wengi kwa timu moja, so nda have kwa support.
Mimi nikuuliza, uko surprise teammates wako wengi wamechaguliwa kwa matimu zao? I think wako kama 5 hivyo wameenda World Cup. Uko surprise that wamechukuliwa kwenda kwa timu zao World Cup?
Siko surprise because walikuwa na season poa na wamesaidia pia club, wameonyesha kitu wanaweza fanya, so siko surprise at all.
Na timu kama Southampton saizi na mumegrow sana as a unit, na that's why hata late inclusions za World Cup wanatoka Southampton pale. Wakati uliingia Southampton ulikuwa umesema hii ni team iko na ambition, iko na great plans na unaona mkifika mbali sana. Tukidiviate kidogo tu tukitoka kwa World Cup, do you think our wachezaji ambao wameenda World Cup are some of the qualities ulikuwa umeona na ndio watu ambao wanawa guide towards achieving your goals?
Naweza sema au ni part of the quality niliona, cause kuna wengine pia wale wajaenda World Cup waja qualify, so nafikiria Southampton kuna group poa sana wachezaji na ni team na wakaze as a team, like tunawaka as a team, si individual sana.
Alafu Big Mac, we Italy, let me ask you kwanza swali yangu, who's winning the World Cup in your opinion?
Well, I think Argentina.
Yeah. Nilikuwa nafikiri utapick on Italy. Umecheza nao na wajua?
Najua, but I think Argentina this time watafika mbali.
Maybe na support Argentina, timu yangu ya pili ni Germany.
Yeah.
But Argentina naona tukikosa Messi ni kubaya.
No, kwa sababu I think kuna wakina Higuain, kuna watu wako sawa wanaweza saidia hiyo timu. Yeah.
Italy tukiangalia, the last World Cup walikuwa na chaotic time. Nakumbuka kuna fan moja nikiongea naye alikuwa analia. Anasema ya Kinta, Materazzi, sijui nani, hao wachezaji wote kocha hakuwatumia vizuri na yetu walikuwa katika ile squad. Wewe umecheza na wao pale. Sijui repercussions zilikuwa ni nini na wamejiprepareaje for hii World Cup size?
I think unajua pia choose players kwa waende World Cup pia ni kitu ngumu juu unafaa uangalie wale wanacheza wale wachezi. So I think hiyo World Cup ilipita tu walikuwa sawa. So this time I think wali learn from their mistakes. I think what to do better.
Well, before we continue with our guests in the studio, I want to give you a clip on what we have prepared. Security is a big issue in terms of both at the World Cup, and the Deputy Ambassador has just spoken about them deploying the army, deploying the police and any other security agent, whether it's on the streets, whether it's in the clubs, whether it's around the stadia, whether it's on the beach. Copacabana, remember, it's a 4-kilometer stretch of a beach and so many things happen around the Copacabana. So security is a concern, not just in Kenya, but there. Also in Kenya, remember, people will be going out to watch matches in different places. As a football fan, I'll tell you, I don't have any joy in watching the game at home. I'll sit at home, I'll watch it alone. There's no joy there. So people will gather in different places to go and watch the World Cup. I know Wahiga will be watching the World Cup at a location. I will not tell you so much, but tonight I know he's at a hotel somewhere that his friends are gathering to watch the World Cup. And remember, by the way, on the same hashtag Viva Brazil, just tell us where you'll be watching the World Cup from. Maureen Mwende will be roving with a camera every evening and she'll be able to join you there. And she'll not just come like that. She'll come with goodie bags to give you as you enjoy watching that World Cup. And those are some of the things that we're giving you right here on Citizen TV. This is a totally different show, Viva Brazil. We reward you for watching and for watching the World Cup as well. So Maureen Mwende was out last night and she went to different sports to just look at how prepared are we in terms of security and in terms of preparing for people to watch the World Cup. And this is what she prepared for you.
Put your flags up in the sky, put them in the sky. Hang them side to side, side to side. Show the world where you're from, show them where you're from. Show the world we are one, love, life.
Before we go to that clip by Maureen Mwende, we're just showing off some of the things that we've been able to do. It's been hard work, it's been long nights of preparing this show for you, so we have to give you the best of what we have prepared. But for now, before we go into the clip by Maureen Mwende on the security and the preparedness for watching the World Cup, the magic wall, remember, is where we said we'll be living day in, day out. All the statistics, everything else will be happening on the magic wall. Sidi and Wahiga on the magic wall, what do we have?
Right, Kapi, Captain Michael Kinya has just thrown the ball to me. Let me pass it over to Sidi. Sidi, what?
She shoots and she scores in her high heels.
What kind of tweets do you have there?
Okay, I got lots and lots coming in. Team France, awesome magic wall. Thank you. Thumbs up, Mike, and your team is doing well. Thank you. That was from Wafula Kent. Another one. It's cold, but the show is keeping me warm.
Nice, nice, nice. If I can add a few here, let me see here. Makena Faida saying, Wahiga Mora, lovely stage. But even if you invited me, I wouldn't know what to talk about unless I smile. So they want to come on set, but they're just going to smile, nothing else. And remember, we said that we're going to pick one of the craziest tweets and ask if that person can come in tomorrow. We're going to have analysis here. We're going to have some lovely ladies from Spain. They'll actually be joining us here to talk about Spanish football, because that's what's going to be happening at night. And I think this tweet takes it all. At Viva Brazil, football drains in my blood and married to my mind and shown by my Viva mouth. That is from Alan Spoiler. He says that football is drained in my blood, it's married to my mind, and it's shown by my Viva mouth. Alan Spoiler, kindly tweet me. We need you to come here tomorrow. We want to see what kind of football that is, if it's draining in your blood, in your mind, and so forth. I'm tuned in already. Bates, Cecilia, what else do you have?
I have one all the way from New York City. Citizen TV Kenya, the studio tells it all. I'm back in Croatia today. I wish to be there. Football and football is me. Nice work.
Right, Saramji
Not
Davis
New York,
is
Croatia. Sorry,
Croatia.
Yes.
Saramji Davis is asking if you have an extra German jersey, kindly help me with it, Michael Kinyi. Michael Kinyi kazi kwako after this. And Jospi Wahome also saying studio tells it all as well. So lots of people just applauding our studio. And of course our magic wall. Remember, these are the groups. If you forget, you just need to glance at our magic wall. Group A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. 32 teams. 1 month of football. Unbelievable. Michael Kinyi?
I believe, Roba, if you are ready with a clip on the security, he tells me he's not ready yet. Maureen Mwende is still preparing that clip. Mariga, nikirudi kwako, African teams tumekuwa tunakuwa accused. Tuna struggle sana ku qualifiers, tumeka everything in it, but ikifika time ya kwenda World Cup, kinaumana.
Ni ngumu kwa sababu pia Afrika pia tuko, naweza rudia tu kusema hiyo mambo ya vitu kama viwanja, vitu kama hizo vitu ndogo ndogo ndo hatuna bado. But uko na Europe, uko na kila kitu wanayo. So but this time I think tutaenda mbali kwa sababu Ghana last time walifika mbali. I think this time tutakuwa mbali.
Mugubi, teammate wako from way back in Celtic. He's with the Nigerian squad right now. Umeongea na yeye?
Niliongea na Efi. Ako excited to kucheza World Cup yake pia kwanza, so nafikiria atadu poa, atacheza poa. Na pia naona wakifika mbali.
Okay. Players team, mimi opinion yangu ni ya kwamba nafikiri Ivory Coast wanabeba hopes zetu. Ukiniuliza kwa nini kina Yaya Toure, watu wanasema Drogba ni mzee, sijui akina Kolo Toure ni wazae, but experience is what matters at this level. Mimi na believe hivyo. Na Ivory Coast ikiona kina Yaya na kina Kolo, Anwas wameona zote. Wamecheza only Ivory Coast wana train saizi. Anwas wamecheza ball to the highest level. Wameshinda ligi. So many of them have won their leagues. Champions League kuna wale wamefika mpaka semi-finals, mpaka finali. Sijui opinion yako ni nini Mugubi? Umecheza nao. Mimi na feel Ivory Coast carry our hopes.
Mimi naweza sema Ivory Coast kuna timu poa, but Africa mimi nafikiria Nigeria kuna big chance na ndakuwa behind Nigeria, so na believe Nigeria watafika mbali sana hii tournament.
Well, that is Ivory Coast training, but I've been thrown a challenge here that at the beginning we said our magic wall is able to give us a lot of issues in terms of telling us the lineups, the formations and all that. We'll get into that, but now the story we've been waiting for. Maureen Mwende is ready with a story in Nairobi on the security and how prepared we are for the World Cup.
The World Cup may be happening all the way in Brazil, but football fever is at a high globally. In Kenya, football fans will be glued to their screens following the action from South America in the comfort of their homes or at entertainment sports. And as is our social nature, various joints across the country will be packed for the next month. Flags of the various participating nations are the first signs that the world's biggest tournament is upon us. Keeping with the tradition of attracting football-savvy clientele, final touches are being put at Soccer City in K1 Clubhouse. From the central business district to the outskirts, clubs are ready for the football fanatics.
Kenya is currently in a state of heightened security, and with the World Cup approaching and football fans expected to throng various entertainment joints, these joints have made security their top priority. Good? It's okay. Thank you.
The intensity and scrutiny with which checks are being carried out indicates just how crucial security is to managers and clients. Nothing is taken to chance and all vehicles and persons are thoroughly checked. And with World Cup matches being played in the evening in Kenya, entertainment joints will have huge numbers of people to secure.
We already set up security measures for the crowd because we are expecting a big number of people to be coming over, and every security detail has been taken well care of. And in fact, tomorrow we'll be having a bomb sweep, of which will be much more important because of the current security situations.
In terms of security, we have made sure that our security is also on point.
And despite our spot check taking place on a slow weekday, when the matches start tonight, it is highly likely that that situation will change.
From downstairs, the security, they'll check you, and even before you enter site itself, you'll have to be screened and checked.
The World Cup is upon us. Enjoy the football and the lasting memories one takes away from these events. Allez, allez for the French, vamos for the Spaniards, go for whichever team you support. Brazil, Spain, Argentina, Germany, Italy, or maybe Nigeria. In 30 days, only one will be crowned world champion. Till then, be safe as you soak in the World Cup action. Maureen Mwende, Citizen Sports.
Well, that's the security story by Mwende. People are prepared to watch the World Cup. I will be standing with Argentina #1, German #2. Give me your predictions. Let me see who is winning the World Cup and what we'll be doing. Like I promised when we started the show, the Magic Wall will be picking out the teams, the probable lineups that we think we can pick for you. And that Magic Wall is able to do all those things. Right now, Wahiga and Mariga are on that Magic Wall. And Wahiga.
Mariga.
And Mariga.
And the Mariga.
It rhymes, eh?
I like
Wahiga,
that.
Mariga. Let's see what you guys can do on that wall.
All right, Mariga. Tuanze hapa
I
nyuma.
think goalkeeper Julio Cesar.
Is Julio Cesar, so
Yeah.
that's okay?
Yeah,
okay,
that's
who will you
okay.
put at the back?
The back is Alves.
Alves here?
Luis. Thiago Silva and Marcelo, that's good.
Okay, Silva and Marcelo. Oh, what has, okay, sorry, right there. So we are okay?
Yeah.
Midfield?
No, Alves the other side.
Alves
Silva,
the other side here, and you want Silva there.
Then in midfield we have Ramirez.
You want Ramirez, not
Yeah.
Gustavo?
Yeah, Ramirez, Gustavo.
Okay.
Where's Gustavo? I think.
Gustavo should be on the
outside
subs bench, Wahiga.
On the bench here, I
Yes.
see him, so you want me to bring him in as well?
Yeah, Gustavo.
What's
And then-
Akayapo?
And then we'll have Paulinho, the other side.
Paulinho this side here?
Yeah.
Fantastic, I
And
think
then
we're making progress.
In
And then
front we'll have Neymar. And
here?
and
Okay.
then Hulk the other side.
Hulk the other side, of course.
And then we have Fred.
We have Fred. So unataka kuweka Oscar bench?
Yeah, Oscar.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Wacha nimtoe basi. There we go. That is tonight's match as seen by McDonald.
What about the formation, Wahiga? I will just throw in one question. I'm one of those people who don't never understand those systems. These are people who've played at the highest level. I hear they're playing 4-2-1-3-1 formation. I don't know what formation that is. in those types of formations. What formation would Mariga? What is the formation gani Brazil?
4-3-3.
4-3-3.
4-3-3.
How do you arrange them? Actually, arrange for us those players.
Yeah, because
Apo.
yeah,
There we go.
here,
Wow, he's got it.
Paulinho and Ramirez, then Gustavo.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then to take
This
that down,
one,
let me help you
a
with that.
little bit up.
Silva there.
Yeah,
there.
Alves, a little bit up.
A little bit up.
Yeah.
You're up here. Yeah. Okay. So there we have our 4. Is that what you're saying?
And then we have our 3 here.
Our 3, it's a bit of a
then-
circle.
Yeah.
Wow. Nani amekanyaga waya?